of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Evancho. Hill.
Here.
Laufman.
Here.
Leonard.
Here.
McMillan.
Here.
Wolverton.
Here.
Zaleski.
Here.
Ms. McMillan,
Motion to excuse Councilman Evancho.
Mr. Loffman.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is granted. Reading of the minutes. Mr. Leonard.
I make a motion, we dispense the reading of the minutes and place on file.
Mr. Wolverton.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is granted. Mayor's report. Mayor Orr.
Good afternoon, council. It's good to see everybody again. And of course, the temperature just keeps on ratcheting up out there. And before I read my official notes here, I just want to thank all the people out there that water these flowers out there, because them babies are drinking like no tomorrow. It does look very nice out there, even though I know I'm one of them on one day, but has nothing to do with it. Okay, you got two requests in front of you. Well, there's multiple under the second one. Number one, request from code enforcement to appropriate $7,238.08 to services by contract from reimbursement of tax liens. Again, I'm sure most of you know this, but that is the second half. We've already got the first half. That's a month earlier than we've ever got it. And that's, again, way back when they passed that motion to allow us to do that. That's huge, because like most of you know, we have discussions on many situations. I don't know where we'd be if we didn't maintain a lot of this stuff. Number two, request from engineer for authorization to sign water, wastewater grant program agreement. Authorization to receive bids and award a water line project. Authorization to request proposals and enter into an agreement for the construction of project inspector, and authorization to execute the EPA equipment grant agreement, which I could easily broke that up into A, B, C, and D, and had I seen that earlier, I'd
And it
probably
should have been. I
Yeah,
didn't see it
yeah,
earlier
me-
either.
Normally, we
Mayor.
talk about that,
Yeah.
and you smack me, and I go
There's
figure it
like
out.
4 requests rolled into one sentence. Don't
Yeah,
take a
yeah.
breath. So
That's a
we'll,
nick, I think.
yeah,
She was
we'll,
too busy smacking me today for all the things I
Yeah.
did when she was on vacation.
we'll figure it out.
There's more to that here in a minute, and you'll hear the rest, but
Okay.
take my word for it, it's very important.
Okay,
So
both
you
of
break
those
it
are-
out however you want. We can still do that, can't we?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay, both requests will be sent to the Finance Committee.
Okay. Just to report to council, a couple weeks ago, actually about a month ago, you had allowed me and my administration to add a part-time person position, advisor to the mayor. That person is Mark Baker. I'd like to publicly announce that now. I think most people kind of knew, but Mark has a skill set that goes along with what I already got that helps us navigate the waters that's been going to be a little tough going forward. We gave, for example, last Wednesday night, we had 12 individuals test for the ambulance service. So, you know, those 7 positions will be coming sometime in the next 8 to 10 months, give or take a month. And again, we're refereeing that in another area. And just so you know, just to kind of chit chat with what we talked about, I said up to 15 hours. His first week, he worked 8, first 2 weeks, he worked 8. And he was able to meet with 2 judges, kind of lay some groundwork on some things. So I'm real excited about how that, and of course, we brought it back to base. We're able to sit down and navigate some things and maybe look at some possibilities coming forward, and there's more to come there. But anyhow, enough said about that. Real quick, on the grant side of things, you might have heard the radio going crazy today, and if you didn't, I'll help you out tonight. We received a real blessing. Make a long story short, we intended to go down Edgeworth Avenue. It started out with water lines, and then it started out with, we got another grant from, well, not grant, we got an offer from ODOT for curbs, sidewalks, and underground stuff. We had to match 20%. We were looking good at that point, and then we started going down the street toward the duck pond, and some other people got involved, and the price went up about $2 or $3 million. And all of a sudden, with what was going on, we pulled the project back a little bit. Well, about last week, just the way good Lord wanted it, we had 5 water line breaks on St. Louis Avenue by itself. That was the wildest week I ever saw, of course, right on both sides of my house, and of course, you know how that sits. But I just kept my mouth shut and hoped no one beat me in the head with something. But so we, Cambridge, City of Cambridge, Guernsey County, received $3,838,975 grant for improvements for water line services, includes the lead line removal, several streets throughout the city. The project will increase the water flow of Guernsey County, the largest customer, as well as Cambridge Township, on the city's main school. This is North End School Campus. Project activities include eliminating dead-end water lines, which will improve the water quality and reliability in the area and serves 11,400 people. Mainly, this is a NIC. We had that on the blueprint, and they wanted shovel-ready jobs ready to go. Because we had this on the board, even though we were depressed, we pulled back on the job for now for a year or two to see how things were going to flow. Nick said, let me take a shot at this thing. Got Brandon, got Kelly, did some type of research and different things, and bird dogged it mainly and chased it. And he'd love to be here tonight. He couldn't be, but he was so proud. And he got notified actually about 10 days ago. And then I was told, but you know how easy it is for me to sit tight all the time. So we sat tight, and then last week it came out. See Sharon laughing about that. But this is big. We've been fortunate on some things, but this is going to relieve some stress. So we'll be able to move that thing ahead, and more to come. And you'll hear more about that in committee, as you're seeing all that stuff under 2 right there. A lot of that goes right into that. So you can ask questions at that point. I think you might have seen some different things. I've been getting asked about Beal's department stores quite a bit. Lo and behold, something showed up in the Sunday paper. But I do have that information for those that don't have it, and I want to put it out there on the radio, which I'm sure already knows because they're always on top of stuff. But 650 stores in 23 states, and there's not one in Ohio. We're the first. I think it's really cool to think these people have been in business forever, and they're the first in Ohio at 1777. I just take a minute to pause. How many times years ago we hear, well, no one does anything. Why? We're right on the interstate. How come we can't get it done here? Those things have been going on for the last 5 or 6 or 7 years. Just a little bubble over here, a little bubble over here, and then we lose one, we gain a half one over here. But overall, it's climbing. And this, I look for this to be something to attract somebody from St. Clairsville, Zanesville, it's something different. New Philly, Canton. I just throwing that out there. Next up, the park, tennis courts, pickleball's going to get a jolt here a little bit. The Biddy League, I don't know how many of you guys, maybe I think one of you complained to me a couple of years ago, and it's no pun intended, but they do the best they can to get fundraisers for the kids, and people sponsor, and they put their placard up on the wall. But that wall up by the cemetery, that's always looked a little rough. And I'd asked the park about a year ago, could we do something to dress that up a little bit? And Marty and Tim and the different ones all got together and stenciled them with blue and the paws. And I just drove up through there today.
I saw it.
And I thought I knew they did the one on the tennis courts, but it looks as good, right? And I drive up through there and just take back and sit back. Dang, that looks good. But what I want to say on both the 2 things I just talked about a good bit are partnerships. The county with Beals and this group right here, when we sat in here and we talked about different incentives and what could we do, and that company has done what we asked them to do. I wanted to flag that moment because not always it works out like that. We've had plenty to do the other thing. But they filled each one. I mean, look back at what that was doing 5 years ago. And I want all of you to take a moment and realize you running for what you've done makes a difference. And then the schools, across partnerships and different things, girls softball lights, and you know, right now they want to move on to maybe concession stand / a couple other things going on, dugouts. But again, we had a tennis company do that out there, and it's just incredible. Now we're going to have to tighten the rules a little bit on that. Next year, Boomerama, we're not going to have sparkler fiends having a field day inside the fence. So I'll be sitting outside. And I didn't have a sparkler, but I get blamed for that too, but that's okay. Traffic has been flowing a little bit better in the main areas, but it's been a little challenging in the off areas. And what that is, it just depends on the period of day and where people are trying to go. Some of the lines have just been painted in some of the areas. I see it going down past Morton. They got them lanes tightened up. They're in the process of doing that right now. That was supposed to have been done tail end of last year, but good luck with some of these companies, employees, and just stuff. So we go from there. Main Street has made an announcement. If you haven't caught on already, we're going to lose our Main Street director. We've been down this road, unfortunately, before. I want to say thanks to all the time that this person has spent out there, Mary Beth Sills. My understanding is the board is actively talking to a couple of people right now. There's some applications in. I don't have all the information. I think there's a board meeting here shortly, and I have to trust in the fact that somebody's lively enough to put a little energy in that. We'll just have to wait and see how she flows from there. But I think for all the challenges over there, and Donna knows all about this, each time we run some laps, we get a little bit more savvy on a few things and go from there. So we want to keep that momentum going if we can. And then not last but least, I just want to take a moment to thank all our service crews out there. We don't get to talk about them enough. We talk about it in the wintertime sometimes, but the heat, that water crew that one day, they were out until 2 in the morning on High Avenue. They rolled in that night, came to work, was here for 6:30 in the morning, met the challenge at 7. The water line blew on St. Louis. Away they go. They were still in the St. Louis area at 8 p.m. that night, 90-degree heat, 10 of them, 2 crews. Their families are somewhere else going through whatever. And it's not just them, it's police, it's fire, it's overtime in the police department's been off the chart. Unfortunately, right now, we are swearing in a couple officers this Thursday, because we're down almost 6 officers right now. And that's pouring the overtime and putting the throttle on everybody else. You know, cemetery crews, and unfortunately, we've lost a lot of valuable people. Things have happened, and they're ready to go, and they did put it out there. And the projects and dreams that they have. But I just want to take a moment. Sewer department, I was down there the other day. They're doing some new stuff down in there. And, you know, they're forgot about sometimes. But you go down in that newer building and stuff, it's nice down that way. It's nice. And there's been a lot of work down in that web, waiting for some sealing. Crack sealing is coming shortly. So, sealing first, cracks, and then we're going to go into the overall sealing, and then the paving will probably be like it sometimes in September-ish, something like that. I'm just guessing. It's supposed to be earlier than that, but seems like they find a way between the weather and the trucks, and somebody's got to be somewhere else, and it'll happen. But anyway, that's a pretty good scan of a lot of stuff, probably some other things, but there we are.
Any questions of the mayor site? Mr. Hoffman?
Just wanted to mention, actually, you mentioned it, but how hard we worked with Rural King to get them here, and we were pretty tough on them through some negotiations, trying to get them to give back a little bit more, and to see them come through and make their plan complete, it is a good feeling.
Thank you, Councilman. The annexation things and pre-annexations, there's another restaurant smelling around, but they just haven't put their foot completely down yet. So I think, again, when this baby comes in, all of a sudden the numbers go up a little bit. It becomes, real estate moves a little bit, and on we go from there. But that's all I have.
Ms. Hill?
And on the heels of what you said about all the street department, and everything being out there on all those water breaks, they were back down here first thing in the morning to help me and the police academy alumni set up for our event. And those guys, they're amazing. I can't thank Bill Stashansky and his group enough. They're just amazing. They were out there all day to help us. I mean, came and went. They did other things and came back down to help us open up the street again, tear everything down. They're incredible. I can't thank them enough.
Well, thank you. We found a way. We got good teammates out there, and we're very fortunate.
Mr. Miller?
I just wanted to touch base too, Mayor, what you were saying about the lines being painted on the streets today. I saw them and they were out. And I just want to say to the public, pay attention. Some of the lanes have changed. Some of them that were a left and straight lane and a right turn lane are now down to 1 lane, and on some busy streets. Relax. take your time, pay attention to where you're going and what you're driving.
We are such a habit-formed community.
Absolutely.
And even myself, sometimes, I'm like, we've just done it so long that way. How dare anyone possibly change it?
Right. It's same with the stop sign down on Woodlawn.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Just sit back and relax. Not
Only
sit
takes
back,
one.
but relax. But I just wanted to, say to the public, some lanes have changed. And like you said, they've been tightened up. It's fine. It's all fine. It's all good.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, Mr. Zelinski?
Thursday, you're swearing in how many officers?
Two lateral transfers, and then we'll have another one going to the academy in the very near future, and that paperwork's kind of going on right now.
Time is that?
You'll have to call my assistant to find out for sure. I really can't quote. Normally, it's in the 10 o'clock range. Rocky will be performing the swearing in, and the chief. I actually will not be able to attend this one.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Move on to communications.
Yes, just an FYI, as you recall, you adopted a resolution for services to annex territory. I did receive the packet back from the county, so the time started ticking today. I will hold it for 60 days and present it to you in September for action at that time.
Okay, thank you. That's it for communications?
Nope, I
Nope.
have two requests from the municipal court for transfers and appropriations.
Mr. Lobbman,
Motion to refer to finance.
Ms. McMillan,
Second the motion?
all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is granted. Next, please.
I have the park board minutes from June the 8th.
Mr. Leonard,
I'll make a motion, we dispense with reading those and place them on file.
Mr. Zaleski.
I'll second that.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is granted. Next,
I have the monthly report from municipal court for June.
Mr. Overton,
Make a motion, we place on file, dispense with place on file.
Ms. Hill.
Second the motion.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is granted. And we'll move on to reports committees.
Report of Finance Committee, July the 17th. We recommend that council adopt a resolution to proceed with the 3.0 and 3.9 renewal fire levies.
Any questions in the committee on that report? Next, please.
Report of Finance Committee, July the 17th. We recommend that council appropriate $15,000 to Mayor's Office employee salary line item.
Any questions at the committee on that report? Okay, we'll move on to unfinished business. Nothing under unfinished business. We'll go to the audience portion. Yes, if you wish to address council, approach the microphone, state your name and address, and you'll be given 5 minutes unless we deem you need more.
Before my time starts, I want to thank you for having me tonight. And I also want to thank, they have come around without even asking when we'd have windstorms or anything, picking up trees, limbs and everything without being called, and I think that's wonderful also. Okay, I'm Rita Nolan, and I live at 634 North 18th Street. I've been at this address for 41 years. I'm here to request a review for a four-way stop on the corner of Blaine Avenue and the 700 block of North 18th Street. I've stopped a couple months ago and left my name with Mr. Thornton, who was in for Mr. Cunningham, explaining that I, along with the neighbors, were very concerned about this intersection. I haven't heard anything being considered or reviewed. This was after I left all the information that I'd like to be called. The second time I stopped and talked with Mr. Hill and Mayor Orr was a couple of days after an accident on this same intersection right in front of our home. This accident was very scary to see. A car was T-boned and went out of control. Airbags came out and everything, and my husband was sitting right there. Crossing the 18th Street, coming the 18th, going down, T-boned and went all the way down Blaine Avenue, across Oakland, into the yard. And thank heavens they were both okay. I'm very, very shook up, okay. This was very scary to see. I was told this would be reviewed and still haven't heard anything. This street has become a raceway with two blind spots for oncoming traffic. And the reason I know that, I've lived there that long, I wouldn't even let both my kids ride on that street, and this was before all the other businesses would come in town, and the traffic, because they don't want to do a red light or a stoplight. So they use this street as a shortcut. It's become a raceway with two blind spots for oncoming traffic, which has vehicles weaving in and out of parking places of people that are parked on there. You can't even cross the street without, I mean, it's scary. And it's even worse when school's in session. It's very hard to get in and out of cars and cross the street. We have seen much more traffic in the past couple of years due to hospital traffic, MVHC, and when school's in session. We would like to thank you for hearing this request and hope that something can be done to keep everybody safe. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sure the mayor will address this for you, being that it's an administration deal, and I'm sure there'll be an answer given back to you guys. Okay. All right, thank you, Mayor. Anybody else? If you're right ahead, Mike, come up to the mic. State your name and address, please.
Michael St. Clair, I live at 1301 North 14th Street. By the way, Mayor, there was a break in front of my neighbor's house before in St. Louis. Yeah, yes, my true name. I used to live on North 18th, 550 North 18th. My mother, 91 years old, still lives across the street. And as she has said, that's the gateway to north end of town. I go up there quite often to get my mother, take her to the doctor, whatever. And I'm telling you, you got to be careful about opening a car door because they're moving. You're looking one way and the other, and by the time you open your door, they've come from the other way. And I don't know what the problem is that it looks doubtful. But I would send somebody in a car and let them go up and sit there for a day and watch the stuff coming up and down that street. I mean, we've put four-way stops up around the town for other traffic control. Why can't we put one there?
It seems like every time we get into it, put one up, get one down, because somewhere going on everything.
Well, and I understand. I found it interesting that over by Old Washington, Washington School, going down 9th Street, and was it going down, coming up 9th and going down 10th. We took both sides out. And then not too long later, we put the one back up on 9th Street. And I'm sure that's because somebody complained. We're here complaining. And I asked Rita, I said, do we need to get a petition through neighbors? And from her understanding, you don't do that anymore?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The 9th Street, I drank college on that, but it was always there, and it was gone, there was snacks, so people are so used to that being. Now, was there ever stop signs on this area here?
No, there haven't been.
Because I guess that played into it when my people were talking to me, they're like, because there hasn't been one. You just don't stick them up, just because somebody says no, that's what I want.
Well, and you'll have to stop me when my time runs out, because I'll stand here and talk. He and I know that. But see, that's the annoying part, is somebody says, there's never been one there before, so why put one up now? I don't buy that. And please get back with Mrs. Nolan so she's not left hanging. The guys in that cemetery department, I deal with the veteran side of things, and I'm going to tell you what, the day that Green retires, you're going to have problems, because that guy, that is his life out there. He can tell you where graves are. In Shoshansky, I have to agree. You called Bill, and it's a matter of, we'll take care of it. And it had to do with picking up brush and stuff, and it's like, just tell, because we know we can't get down in the landfill and stuff, but those guys are great, so thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to new business. There's nothing, Mr. Hoffman?
Under new business, I guess, would it be inappropriate to maybe ask that a discussion be had at city services about the North 18th Street?
That would have to come from the administration, because they have to look at the traffic control manual, and that's really, we got into this last time with the law director, and he recommended that it stay with the administration.
I'm gonna check with him too, and
Right.
I just remember that for years ago, long before I was ever married, there was such a big uprooting stuff about what's going up, what's going down, slowing traffic, not slowing traffic. And I know Tommy, for example, always says, you can't slow traffic with stop sign. Well, that's what it does. I mean,
There's a clause in the Ohio Traffic Control Manual that says you cannot use a stop sign to control speed. And that's why the law director said that he recommends that those requests stay with the administration.
Right.
they know the drive people go crazy. Just don't, children are playing, that's a normal sign in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, I tell a normal person with kid playing, you can't have a sign.
Right.
No one really does look at the signs, it's like that.
Mr. Hoffman?
And it's just 2 cents, I guess, what I'm throwing in. I remember all the issues we have with stop signs, and yeah, they've made it cleared up that it is not to control speed. I did feel like maybe that one right there, because I travel it every night. I used to just go down Oakland Boulevard, but when Oakland shut down, I started using 18th. As you guys know, it became crazy up there then. Since Oakland opened back up, it's not so bad, but I don't feel like their complaint is as much about speed, about those cars coming at the same time. So,
Well, on that one corner, for sure, no question.
Okay.
You come up here, and someone, we can do this all night.
Yeah.
When someone decides to speed and be a little stupid, it just is what it is, stupid.
Yeah.
And all the rest of it, but a little bit more out on our side, might not.
Okay.
Like, safety, just like, I
Yeah.
like to run my first on the plow through there, otherwise.
Okay. I need to get control of the meeting again. Sorry. Yeah, so I guarantee you that the administration will be back with you, because he's good for his word, so. All right, we'll go to the ordinances.
Resolution determining to proceed with the submission to the electors of the question of levying a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitations, and this is the 3.0 mils fire renewal levy. This is the step 2 process.
Mr. Lockman,
motion to suspend.
Mr. McMillan,
Second to suspend?
roll call on the suspension, please.
Leonard?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Leonard,
Motion to pass.
Mr. Wolverton,
Second pass.
any discussion? Roll call, please.
McMillan?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes,
And that ordinance is declared adopted. Next, please.
A resolution determining to proceed with the submission to the electors of the question of levying a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitations, and this is the 3.9 mils fire renewal levy.
And Mr. Zaleski,
Motion to suspend.
Mr. Wolverton,
Second to suspend.
roll call on the suspension, please.
Loffman?
yes,
Wolverton?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
And Ms. Hill, rather,
Motion to pass.
Mr. Lockman.
second to pass.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
McMillan?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
And that ordinance is declared adopted. Next, please.
An ordinance of transfers and appropriations.
Mr. Wolverton
Motion to suspend.
and Ms. McMillan.
Second to suspend?
Roll call on the suspension, please.
McMillan?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
And Mr. Loffman,
Motion to pass?
Leonard.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Leonard?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Wolverton?
Yes.
Loffman?
Yes.
McMillan?
Yes.
Zaleski?
Yes.
And that ordinance is declared adopted. Next, we'll go to miscellaneous. Mr. Loffman.
Finance Committee will meet in 2 weeks from tonight at 4:30 PM, right here, council chambers.
That's all we have, right?
That's it.
Okay. Anything under health, under miscellaneous? If not, Mr. Leonard,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
we're adjourned.